Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How you guys doing? Well, I had a subscriber request to talk about topwater soft plastic frog fishing. And so I pulled out some of the ones that I use and how I rig them up. So we'll talk about that tonight. One of the ones probably the first one I ever used was just the Zoom horny toad. And, I can remember using these a lot, back in the day. I think before the hollow-bodied frogs became so popular and such good fish catchers. But these soft plastic frogs still do produce very well. And I'll just show you some of the ones I have here. This, I believe, is just my box of the Zoom horny toads right here. And lots of different colors. A popular color is the white, the pearl. The pink is very good, believe it or not. That's a great color right there. Some of these perch type colors, sunfish type colors, we used to do very well on. These fishy type, looking colors here, natural looking, almost have like a frog look to them. And you got to remember that the bottom is what's, the fish are going to see in the water. So sometimes that brighter color belly is the way to go. But there's a lot of different colors they make. Now, I have not bought a horny toad from Zoom in a long time. They may have a bunch of different colors now, but I don't think it's really a color thing. There's ones, I don't remember what this one was called. We had a lot of confidence in that one for a while, throwing it, I can remember. But just these, whatever, it was always kind of those brighter belly colors that seemed to be better. But you could just throw black. That's a black with just some blue on the tail there. This is, I'm not sure what you would call, I don't remember what that color was. Maybe a red bug. This one was always a pretty good one. This June bug with those yellow flappers, or just straight black. So that's the horny toad right there. And it's almost kind of, I know it's, it's a frog, but it's also kind of maybe more like even like a kind of a finessey buzzbait, just the way those little flapper tail, these little flapper tails kind of, make some commotion across the top. But if you find that maybe they're not going after the hollow-bodied frog, that I throw most of the time now, switch to that. This is the other box of different frogs I have from over the years. I don't know if all these are still in production. This was a company, Seismic, that made like a popping type soft plastic frog. And then they had their version of the frog, the Seismic, and it kind of had more of a little boot tail type on their frog. And these were pretty good too. I used those a few times there. They produced. But as I said, this was a while ago. I haven't thrown these in a while. I've used that hollow body frog so much. The Stanley Ribbit frog is a good one. I don't know if they still make them. I assume they do. I have not checked. But they had some cool colors. These always worked well. See, it's got more of a kicker tail, so that makes a little more commotion for you if you're looking for that. This is just a various brand of a frog I have. I don't know. If it said it on the plastic, I could tell you. But you get the idea. They all have kind of that same look. I think that's just a green pumpkin Zoom horny toad right there. I think that's what that is in this box. This is a various brand, another one. Big flapper tails. Strike King has their little rage, I don't know what they call this, their rage tail thing that you could kind of use as a frog. I never really thought these were that great. I don't know if they still make them. I had a couple of them that I tried, but I didn't think it was any better than like a horny toad or anything. But that's another option you can do if you want to throw that. And I think kind of what sparked the idea for this video was seeing these on the rack, and these are the noisy flappers from Kitech. They're 3.5 inches long. And I'll just show you some different colors of those. That's the lime chartreuse, pumpkin pepper, the green frog. And these are nice. These have a nice action. Green pumpkin chartreuse, that's the one when I threw these, that's the one I was throwing. I've lost one of those. Watermelon red is nice. Black blue, solid. Brown purple flake. And they may have more colors now. I'm assuming Kitech still makes this. This is just the white one that I use a lot. I've got a couple of those are missing, and the black. I think if you just had, you know, a black, a white, and maybe some type of a greenish color, like maybe like that green pumpkin chartreuse, because it's a green pumpkin on top and a chartreuse. You can see how the light kind of goes through that. If you have just those three basic colors, you're probably pretty good. But it is fun to experiment with different colors too. But I throw them pretty much just like I would a regular hollow body frog in the gnarliest cover. It can be a good open water bait. I just have, if I was going to throw it, I just have kind of rigged it up here. This is just I don't have it on, I would say, as heavy of a setup as I do my regular hollow body frog. That I have on a heavy 8-foot flipping stick, 65-pound braid. This, if I was going to throw this, and I did actually set one up, this is braid. I usually go down in my braid size to maybe 30, 40 at the most. I don't think I need that 65-pound. I like to get a little more of a casting distance. I'll go a little lighter braid. And I just rig it up. This is just a medium heavy. It's not a big heavy flipping stick or anything. It's just a 7'3" medium heavy. This is just a Vendetta from Abu Garcia, but any 7'3" to 7'6" medium heavy you like. And you can go heavy. I just think I can cast these better with a medium heavy, but I'm not going to go medium. I think medium might be a little too flimsy, and I just Texas rig them. That's a like, get some line out here for you. That's just a 4, you know, any 4 or 5/0, you know, wide gap hook. Just Texas rigged, and that is the, what is that one? Lime chartreuse, I think. Yeah, that's the lime chartreuse one I just happen to put on there. But you know, just, you know, you can see that's a heavy wire hook. Gives me a little more weight for casting. Just tie it on with a polymer knot, and you just rig it like you're going to rig a worm, any soft plastic. And a lot of these frogs are nice because they have like little ridges for you to kind of guide where you want to put your hook through. And I don't want to bury the hook with these. I like the hook just sit on top there, so when that fish grabs that and that collapses, that he's got that hook that he can get, because it's a lot of, you know, it's a heavy duty plastic. They usually make these frogs, most companies, they're a little heavier plastic, so you can actually get some distance on your casting. But that's one option, that Kitech. I'll rig a couple up for you and just show you how they look. That's what the Kitech flapper looks like. As I said, that was what, chartreuse pepper, right? That noisy flapper. That's kind of what it looks like outside the box. So you can just imagine, now you would obviously break these apart so that when you're throwing this across the water, that these little, now for this does, I mean, I guess it does kind of look like a frog, but it also looks like a crayfish too. But as long as you've got that tail, those legs or whatever you want to call them on this thing, flapping, that's what's going to make your action to attract those bass. If you were going to throw, like, say, a horny toad, same setup. And if I was going to take these out on the boat and throw them, I would probably go with one of these guys, because I just like that orange belly. I always like these ones that have more little orange on the belly here. But I'm just going to rig it the same way, because that's going to give you all the action. This tail right here, these little legs are going to give you that action, and it's very subtle, but it does produce. So you just have your 4/0 EWG, and I prefer a heavy wire hook. Now you could get away with, let's say I was going to use a Gamakatsu, like a red. I used to use red 4/0s, and I was fine with those. That's just a VMC wide gap hook, whatever hook you want to use. I have these other ones I just pulled out. They're a little heavier wire, which I do prefer, just for casting distance. But just rig it, and you want, like anything, rig them straight. Just Texas rig. I just go right to where that bend is, And just pop it right through the middle there. Bring it up, and you'll see the horny toad actually has a little slot there on the bottom, which makes things easy. Just like your Texas rig and a worm. You got that nice, and then just eye it up. It's got that nice cavity there on the bottom to line it up with. Cinch your bait up, pop it through. And sometimes I'll work this out just to kind of give me some, make that a little more loose through there. And then I just let it sit right on top. And sometimes you'll cast it out, it'll land upside down and the hook will get some weeds on it. But that's, you know, fishing in heavy cover like that, it happens. But you can throw these around pads, and you can even throw that around, you know, open water. But I always like to leave, I don't want to bury that hook too much. If you find you're getting too much gunk on there, you could just kind of nose hook the point there. But it's pretty simple fishing, guys. As I said, 7.3 to 7.6, medium heavy for these. I don't think you need 50-pound braid. I guess if you're fishing some super heavy cover, you might want it. Where I fish, I can get away with one of these with probably 30 or 40, because I find with that lighter braid, I can even cast these a little further. And it's a fun way to fish. Easy and fun. I wouldn't really prefer to do it with spinning. If spinning is all you have, you can probably get away with it. But just on your spinning setup, you know, I wouldn't go a 2000 series reel on spinning. I would go a 3000 for sure. And you could probably put 20 to 30-pound braid on one of those easily, and you could probably get away with it. But I would not use a medium rod, medium heavy or heavy. I don't prefer spinning for these, but you could probably get away with it if that's all you have. But the braid is what's important. Fluoro is no good. It's going to sink on you. And mono, if you're fishing some heavy cover, you might have regret if you go with mono. You know, I can remember using mono back in the day, and you know, frog fishing was difficult in those days before braid became an option. So that's it, guys. It's a pretty simple setup. Get yourself, you know, you could try some of the Zoom horny toads. I'm sure they probably still make those. I'm not sure Kitech still makes these. I would imagine they do. But I'm sure there's probably companies I don't even know that still makes that make some plastic frogs you can use. But you know, the horny toad is kind of like the old standard right there. And that's a fish catcher. That's a fish catcher. Throw that around the weeds on your lake or your pond. For you guys that are shore fishermen, it's a great way to fish, get some nice bites. And it's good on open water too. It's good in open water. But real simple, just Texas rig it like you're fishing a worm. Nice and easy, steady retrieve, and get those little feelers going. If you want, you could even sometimes I'll take one of my dye markers and put a little more chartreuse on those on there. If I want a little more chartreuse on the bottom, this one's got like orange and chartreuse. So this one's got a nice combo of colors, so it looks very frog-like. And that's what I'm always looking at for those, is what's that bottom? How does that bottom of that bait look? What's it gonna look like to the fish? That's why I like colors like this, as I said, and like these chartreuses. And then, you know, as I said earlier, if you just have two colors, even or three, the whites and the blacks, and some type of a frog or a green with a light chartreuse or an orange belly, and you're good to go. You don't need a ton of colors. That's coming from me, a guy who has a ton of colors. So, so that's it. So, if there's any questions on soft plastic frog fishing, let me know. I'd be more than happy to talk about it further. It's lots of fun, and just doing this video has got me now having one set up to try, because sometimes if they don't want, you know, that hollow body frog, I think this can, you know, promote some bites that you're not getting from that hollow body frog. So I think it's a good 1-2 combo, you know, if you're a topwater frog fisherman, or you're just going frog fishing, to have this type of topwater through the weeds, and have that hollow body too. So it's a good 1-2 combo to throw at them and see what they like better. All right. So like I said, any questions, let me know. I'll look and see what soft plastic type frogs are still available. I'm sure the horny toad is. I'm sure that you can probably get the noisy flapper. But if I see any of those, that seismic one, I forget who makes that. If I see any of those, I'll put a link to them. You guys can check them out if you're interested in trying them out. But give it a shot. Give it a shot. Let me know how you make out. You know, we're coming into the summer months here. July, August. great frog fishing time. Weed should be up in most lakes, and it's a fun way to fish. It's a fun way to fish. All right. So thanks for watching. Please like and share the video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, please do. See you soon on YouTube. Mark out.